Hey guys, Mr. Wilson here. Today we're going to talk about solving inequalities. By the end of this video, you should be able to solve inequalities, and you should be able to show all their solutions. Okay, recall from last lesson that inequalities have infinitely many solutions. It means a lot. Okay, just another way we can say limitless. Okay, infinitely many solutions. Therefore, to show all the solutions, we have to graph the inequality. Remember, we do that on a number line, open circles for greater than and less than, closed circles if we have or equal to. When we are solving the inequalities, we are finding the boundary between the solutions and the number. Okay, so in other words, we're trying to find the number that after solving is the number that separates solution from the non-solution. The number is only sometimes a solution. And we talked about this, and this is why we switch from open circles to closed circles. Okay, because the open circle indicates that it's not a solution, it is the boundary. The closed circle indicates that it is the solution. And we'll look at it with these examples. Okay, so we're here going through a few examples of solving. Yesterday we basically just plugged in values, and that works with some very basic inequalities, but now we're going to solve them and see how we can get to our answer a little bit more efficiently. And solving them have very similar steps to solving equations. Okay, and we'll get to some changes, but here we have x plus 6 is less than 2. We want to find out what x is, so we'll solve for x. X is less than 2 minus 6, negative 4. So here we go. This is my solution. So I have my variable by itself, then I know that I'm done. Again, our number line can be pretty simple. Negative 4 is here. To help yourself out if you're having difficulty, I always like to find the spot where 0 is because that'll help me out. X is less than negative 4. 0 less than negative 4? Nope. So it's going to go left. Okay, less than, that means not or equal to. So negative 4 cannot be a solution. It's an open circle to the left. Okay, and that's my graph. Alright, same thing, number 2, solving for x. I want to get x by itself. I'll divide both sides by 8. X is greater than or equal to negative 5. Okay, so I have negative 5. This is or equal to, so it can be 5 in this case. I'm going to use a closed circle. And you can put 0 there and see, does this work? Is 5 greater than, or 0 greater than negative 5? Yes. So we're shading towards 0 now. Alright, number 3, here's where difference comes in, okay, with inequalities. We have negative 2x is less than or equal to 14. I'm going to divide by negative 2. And when you divide or multiply by a negative number when you're dealing with inequalities, you have to flip the sign. Okay, you're going to change the direction to where the sign opens. So our solution will be x is greater than or equal to negative 7. Okay, so I have negative 7. Greater than or equal to means it's going to be a closed circle. 0 here, this way. Okay, so just so we understand this, when does the sign flip? When you multiply or divide by a negative number. It does not matter, or it does not matter if the answer is negative. So notice up here, guys, that when we subtracted 6, we didn't have, and got a negative 4, we didn't have to flip the sign. When we divided by 8, and we got negative 5, we didn't have to flip the sign. But when we multiplied or divided both sides by negative 2, then we did have to flip the sign. I'm going to take a second just to explain why that happened. So hold on for a second. Okay, so think of it this way. If I have 5 and 3, my inequality sign would be that 5 is greater than 3. Okay, that's a true inequality. Now, multiply both sides by -1. We multiply both sides by -1, we have -5 and -3. What happens to my inequality sign? In order to make this a true inequality, I have to flip the sign. Okay, it works with every number that you have. Any inequality that you set up, that will work. And so, we're just using those rules. Whenever you divide or multiply by a number, remember those are essentially the same things. By a negative number, you have to flip the sign. Okay. Let's go through and solve these really quickly. We'll get a few differences here. For this, I want to get x by itself. I want to add 7, 8, x. Okay, anytime I have an inequality where x is on the right side, I want to rearrange that inequality. Okay, it's a little bit difficult. You might have seen that when you were graphing yesterday that you didn't like x being on the side because it made you think more, and that's okay. But I like to make sure I'm sure. So I'm going to write x first, and I'm going to keep the closed mouth or the open mouth eating the same thing. Okay, so if you remember from second grade, this alligator wants to eat 8. So if 8's on the right side, the alligator's eating 8. Okay, and that makes sure that our inequality means the same thing no matter what the order is. Okay, so 8, open circle, 0's here, x is less than 8, going this way. Number 5, two-step equation here, or inequality here. Negative x over 3 is greater than -6. Excuse me. Multiply both sides by -3. When we do that, we need to make sure that we flip the sign. So I have x is less than or equal to 18. 18 or equal to, close circle, going left. Alright, I'll leave this number 6 for you guys to do. So make sure you do number 6. On the back side, alright, we have this inequality. 5x plus 12 over 6 is greater than 7. Again, we're solving it just how we would solve an equation. I'm going to multiply both sides by 6. And for me, that gives me 5x plus 12 is greater than 42. I'll subtract 12 from both sides. 5x is greater than 30. And then divide by 5. X will be greater than 6. Greater than, open circle, greater than, go to the right. Okay. All right, let's look at number 8. We have 5, I'm going to distribute here, negative 2x plus 20 is greater than or equal to 13. Excuse me here. All right, combine our like terms. So we have negative 2x plus 25 is greater than or equal to 13. Negative 2x, I'm going to subtract 25 from both sides, is greater than or equal to negative 12. All right, just so I can show you your work here. All right, divide both sides by negative 2. And that will give me, first I have to make sure I flip my sign. X is less than or equal to 6. Okay, less than or equal to, that's a closed circle because it can be 6. It can be equal to 6. Less than 6 goes to the left. Okay, make sure you include that number. All right, I'll do number 9 with you and leave number 10 for you to finish on your own. Number 9, guys, remember this fraction. If you're having difficulty multiplying it, I can say that writing all the other numbers as a fraction might help you. Remind you to do numerator times numerator, denominator times denominator. 18x over 3 minus 30 over 3. Okay, plus x is out here. All right, 4. All right. And we had to do that this time because we see that there are two x's on this side, and one inside the parentheses, one outside the parentheses. We couldn't just multiply both sides by 3/2 to get rid of it. Okay, so these simplify. I'll actually need to use some space underneath here. No, I'm not going to finish the problem above it. So I have 4 is less than or equal to 6x minus 10 plus x, just simplifying my fractions. I'll combine my like terms here, 6x and x. That gives me 7x minus 10. Add 10 to both sides. So I have 14 is less than or equal to 7x. And then I'm going to divide both sides by 7. And so I have x, or 2 is less than or equal to x. I don't like it like this. I'm going to flip it so x starts. X is alligators eating x. Stays eating x. Okay. So x is greater than or equal to 2. That means at 2, on the number line, I'm going to have a closed circle. I'm going to go towards numbers greater than 2. All right. Okay, and I'm leaving number 10 for you guys to do, so make sure you do that. Also, make sure you have number 6 done. Okay. So you see that solving it is not very different from solving inequalities is not very different from solving equations. The major difference happens that when we multiply or divide by a negative number, we have to remember to flip the sign. Okay. I think that's it. See ya.